Dun 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 dun. To add on to my previous video about crypto, I think part of the confusion that is going around is the term crypto treasury entity. A crypto treasury entity is not the US Treasury, so let's discuss a little further. In the video I did yesterday, I discussed the CRO coin, which was Cronus or something like that. So think of that like a different form of monetary value, like USD for the US dollar, RUB for the Russian ruble, or HUF for the Hungarian forint. In general, when you have a currency, you want to tie it to something like gold or silver or something like that. Crypto is also supposed to be tied to certain assets, but we'll get back to that in a second. Let's say you want to get some crypto. One option is you can take your money and directly put that toward the coin of your choice. The other option you can do is take your money and put it into a cryptocurrency treasury, which is basically a middleman. The second method is supposed to be a little more secure than just buying the coin directly, because then there's things like a rug pull where all that money you just put into it just goes into the space. The way that the cryptocurrency treasury makes money is by charging fees on transactions, or they'll take the funds and things that are supposed to be backing that coin and invest it in other things to make it grow. You can think of it as kind of like a bank, but it's not insured by the FDIC. Let's look at one of these particular coins. In this case, this one is Tether. If you want the full numbers as far as reserves and whatnot, you can go ahead and read it, but let's move on. Since there is a severe lack of regulation and people following up on stuff, dollar reserves for coins are questionable. In 2017, Tether published a memorandum from a public accounting firm that showed that the Tether's coin was fully backed by US dollars. However, because of the careful way it was phrased, it did not prove that Tether coins are backed by dollars. The documents also failed to ascertain whether the balances in question are otherwise encumbered. The accounting firm specifically stated, "This information is intended solely to assist the management of Tether Limited and is not intended to be and should not be used or relied upon by any other party." To add on to this, Tether has failed to present audits showing that the amount of Tethers outstanding are backed one-to-one by US dollars on deposit, despite repeated claims that they would. Basically, trust me, bruh. In 2018, they posted an audit from Free, Sporkin, and Sullivan, I don't know how to say that, which appeared to confirm that the dollars were fully backed. However, FSS stated that FSS is not an accounting firm and did not perform the above review and confirmations using generally accepted accounting principles. And Tether's general counsel said, "The bottom line is an audit cannot be obtained. The big four firms are anathema to the level of risk. We've gone for what we think is the next best thing." Again, if you want more information about what is supposedly backing up this coin and all that, feel free to read. But if you don't know who Howard Lutnick is, well, let me tell you. Howard Lutnick is the 41st U.S. Secretary of Commerce. Let's just pop over to the information about Tether real quick. Howard Lutnick said his firm reviewed Tether's assets and confirmed Tether held assets of approximately $86 billion to back $83 billion of its stablecoin. I'm sure there was no creative accounting involved. He, of course, is one of the sycophants that is backing all these terrible trade policies that have been made lately. You remember the NOAA, the thing involved with weather? Lutnick instituted a policy that all contracts over $100,000 had to be personally approved by him. The policy caused a bottleneck, and by April, contracts for maintenance and janitorial services at facilities, emergency alert translations, and web hosting had lapsed. Then later that month, Lutnick publicly promoted great jobs of the future for the United States, where you work in these factory plants for the rest of your life, and your kids work there, and your grandkids work here. And he gave the example of factory robot technician job. Much like a family that doesn't have boundaries, there's a whole spider web of different connections. For example, after Lutnick became secretary, his wife was appointed a trustee of the JFK Center for Performing Art. Look, I'm just a llama with a hat and a microphone. I can't tell you what to do with your money. As for me, my money is staying in the bank.